So today we have a used engine. I don't normally like to use used engine because it's a 50-50 chance that the engine is going to be good or it may not be good. Might be just wasting my time, all my labor installing this engine, start it up and find out that it's no good. So I normally don't really like the idea of a used engine. I try to use remanufactured engine unless I hear the engine running in the car that it's coming out of and I know for sure that it's good, then I'll go ahead and use it. In this case, this engine is a used engine from the salvage yard, and I don't know, I'm only trusting what they tell me it's good. So before I even try to install this engine in any car, by the way, this is a Hyundai engine, and before I try to install this in the Hyundai, I'm gonna do my visual inspection, and I'm gonna check a couple of things and make sure I get a good gut feeling about the engine before trying to install it. There are certain things that I'm looking for. I usually look at the outside of the engine, see if it's got oil leaks and stuff. On this engine here, I can see they pressure wash it, so you can't really tell. I will rotate the engine, make sure the engine is turning all the way around full rotation. Then I know the engine is not seized or have an issue in there. I also listen for noise when I rotate. On a timing chain engine, I normally don't like to rotate it backwards and forward. I just like to go forward all the time because of the timing chain and the adjuster in there. There's a possibility if you go backwards that the tensioner on the chain can go in and make the chain loose, and then when you keep turning it, it can slip in there and make your timing go out of adjustment, which can damage the engine. So I normally like to go forward all the time. If I go backwards, I just go just a little bit, just to listen for noise, like a connecting rod noise especially. If you go back and forth, you might hear a little clunk, 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 clunk. You know you have issue. So let's start inspecting this engine. First thing I'm gonna do is rotate the engine all the way around. I can hear the noise in the chain, which is normal. Okay, so the engine is going around and around and around. I can also hear some compression. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I am going to take the intake manifold off of here. I want to check compression by rotating the engine by hand. It should have some compression. If it doesn't have compression, I will not use this engine. I'll send it back where it came from. Gotta have some. If it has some, I know it's gonna be good. So we're gonna take the intake manifold off, pull spark plugs. I usually pour a little bit of oil down the cylinder, just in case if this engine was sitting on the shelf for a long time. The oil will drain out from around the piston rings and you'll lose compression there. So if you test it dry and it don't have compression, you pour oil in the cylinder and soak the rings so you could seal, and the oil helps to seal around the cylinder by the pistons, and it will build compression back up. So I would normally do that to begin with and not wasting my time, and then test it. So let's keep going here. Yes. Got my little box. Put all my nuts and bolts in there. Compression tester out. brackets out of the way, I'm trying to find the intake manifold, upper intake manifold. Trying to find all the bolts for it. So I'm gonna need to unplug some stuff here. Get that out of the way. Taking out the throttle body because there are some hoses on this throttle body that looks brittle, and I don't want to take those hoses off right now. I'm taking the throttle body loose instead. Put that to the side. 14mm. Take the bracket loose. Loosen that one and drop it down. Like that. This is coming loose. What else do I want to take off of here? Try not to take too much off. And make this as quickly as possible. I'm going to take, well, I don't have to take the hose off. I'll take a 10mm screw here. There. Now that's off. Let's see what else. Another 10 here. Take that off. Okay. caught up by that line. Okay, maybe I could push that line out a little bit there. Try again. There you go. Alright, how long do I want to take this here? Alright, so there's one bent hose I will remove. Okay, that's that. Seems like a couple of plugs here. One. And there. See what we have now. Okay. Got two plugs here. One, two, there. We have the intake upper intake out. Okay. Now, as I'm opening up, I'm taking a flashlight and look down in these cylinders right behind the valves. See if anything look weird, anything that I don't like, that don't look good in my eyes. Okay, so far so good. I already took the spark plugs out on this side and the ignition coils, and I'm going to take those out on the other side. But first, let me get some air and blow out the dirt from there. Air blower, the air hose. I'm going to blow nice and easy. I don't want it to go down in the intake. All right. Now it's time to remove the ignition coils. I'm going to unplug these first. Yep, they are tight. A little bit of help here. compression coils. I already took the other 3 out on the other side earlier. Okay, now I want to remove the spark plugs. They look pretty nice inside those holes. Not too tight. Good. I'm liking this so far. That spark plug looks good. That spark plug looks good. That spark plug looks good. So far, all the spark plugs and all the cylinders look healthy. Alright, so here's 6 spark plugs. See how it's burning nice and clean? Can you see that? It's burning nice and clean. I like that. All of them. They're all nice and clean. They're burning really, really healthy. So that's a good sign for this engine. Engine is looking healthy so far. Okay. So this is where I'm going to check compression by turning over the engine by hand with this tool right here. Don't need nothing fancy. But before I do that, I already pour some oil in one side. On this side, I pour some oil in there. We're gonna pour some oil on the other side. Well, there's my oil. Found my oil. I'm gonna pour some engine oil straight down in the cylinder. One squirt, 2 squirt, 3 squirt. That should be enough. 1, 2, 3. Come on, you can do it. 1, 2, 3. That's plenty of oil. Just put that away. And I am going to blow some air in the cylinder and move the oil around so it can get around to the rings. The different sound that you hear with the air is because some cylinders are open and some are halfway open and some are closed. That's why you get different sound. Okay, I'm gonna do it here one more time. just to make sure that cylinder is closed. Okay, I think that should be more than enough to do a compression test. Now I'm going to rotate the engine and let the oil work its way around the cylinder wall and get into the rings so you can make a good seal for a compression test. Right, now, this is how I like to do my compression test. Let me get some tissue, paper towel. Let's get some paper towel. I already started this process, but I wanted to start it over so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to shove this down in each and every one of those cylinder for a test. My screwdriver, I'm going to start on this side. I'm going to pack it in nice and neat in there. Tight, nice and tight. And then we're going to rotate the engine. And if we have compression in that cylinder, that paper towel is going to go flying. Poof! Right out the hole. Let's see what happens. Whoa! Did you see that? There it is. That one has compression. If you didn't see it, I'm sure you heard it. So let's try another one. And this is how I check for compression on an engine on the outside by hand before installing it in the engine. If I can make that paper towel fly right out of each and every one of these cylinders, I think we have a pretty good engine here to work with. There, you didn't hear that one, but I hope you saw it. There it is. As a matter of fact, I can do it again. Let's do it one more time. I like hearing that pop. So let me pack it in real good. This is like packing gunpowder in a gun barrel. The old days. Let's try this again. There he goes. He's hitting the ceiling. That's pretty good. That's what I want to see. I want to see you hit that ceiling every time. Pack it in. And the third one. Maybe I need some new ones, huh? It's turning into dust here. Let me get a better tool. This is cutting it up. Maybe this little tool right here. Pack it in, pack it in. There you go. Let's crank this baby over. Whoa! I'm actually having fun with this here. This is fun. I'm sure if you're a kid and you love to learn how to work on a car engine, and you get to do this right here, you would want to do this all day long. So this is the fourth cylinder I'm checking. Here we go again. Just keep myself out of the way. see it? Whoa, where'd it go? There, it's turning into mush. I have 2 more to go. Hopefully it'll be enough to finish the other 2. Pack it in with gunpowder. Pack it in. Here we go again, number 5. Whoa! All right. 1 more to go. Let's do it. Do it, do it, do it. Do it, do it, do it. Na 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 na. Eh, 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 eh. Pack it in, pack it in. Fire in the hole. There we go. Whoa. There you have it. That's what my paper towel will turn into. Shred. There you go. I think we have healthy compression on this engine. I feel good about it so far. Got a few more things I'm gonna look at before I attempt to put this in there. Before I forget, I like to put the spark plug back in. Because I don't want nothing to fall inside of these holes and end up inside of the engine, and I don't know that it's in there. First thing is gonna happen is gonna destroy the engine, especially if you lose a tool in there, like a socket, or if you lose a nut or a bolt or something like that small enough to go through the spark plug hole. I wouldn't want that. So I will put the spark plugs back in. I don't have to tighten it up, I just have to block the hole to keep it safe. I usually like to spend a few hours extra to make sure I'm getting everything done right, because I do not like going back a second time to do these things over again. I value my labor. I don't like to waste it. So I try to spend a few extra hours and do it right. Make sure that I won't have to go back in there. At least 99.99 of the time, I shouldn't have an issue. I will block the intake also, because I wouldn't want nothing to go down in there either. So let's cover that up. There we go. Feels safe already. Okay, so the next thing I want to check right now is check for a rod knock. Like if you have a bad bearing and it's bad enough, you should hear a little clunk, 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 clunk. I might be hearing that from the timing chain too, but I know the difference between the sound on the timing chain and what the rod knock would sound like. I'm going to use a bar like this, not a ratchet this time. And I'm going to work it back and forth just a little bit forward as the chain slipping. Okay. Okay, I feel good about that. Feel very good about that. So we are on our way with a healthy engine so far. There's a few more things I'm going to check on this engine. and you'll be right there along with me. And this is very convenient right here. There's an oil filter right here. So I'm gonna take a look inside of this oil filter, check the condition in there. That'll tell me if people changes their oil or they don't change their oil. Oh wow, look at that. That is so nice and clean. Look how nice and clean that is. I think this engine has been maintained properly. I'll take you along for a ride. We're gonna go look down in the hole together. Let me get my flashlight. Okay, let's take you along with me. Let's see what we see in there. Look at that. I don't even need a flashlight. Look how clean that is. Look how clean. It's not dirty at all. Maybe it just had an oil change. But that is very clean. I'm impressed so far. So far we got a good engine. Let's look in the oil cap sometime. I'm also looking for water. Like a blown head gasket will have water mixed in the oil, and you'll have maybe a white pinkish color sometime. Look in there. It's nice and clean. So far, so good. Very healthy. Right there. Those are all signs that I look for. So far we got a nice clean engine. I am feeling good about this. I might just go ahead, put new valve cover gaskets on it. Maybe put we're gonna put new hoses, radiator hoses, heater hoses. I might even replace, let me get my phone off of here. Let's get the phone off. Let's do that. Take the phone off the stand. Alright, here we go. Right here is the back of the engine, and behind this flywheel you have what they call a rear main seal or rear crankshaft seal. This is the best time to replace that, because it's really hard to go back and try to change that if it leaks in the future. So this would be the best time to replace that if you want to replace that. Put some new valve cover gaskets on this. Now would be a good time to replace a water pump. It's the water pump back here. This whole big old gadget right here. Also, now would be a good time to change the crankshaft front seal behind that pulley. There's another oil seal there. Now would be a good time to replace that too. This one is not so difficult to replace if you have to do it after. Excuse me. But the rear one is. You have to take the engine apart just like this here to do that. So why not go ahead and do it while you have it out? This one here, you have a choice. You can do this later or you can choose to do it now. Alright. So there you have it. I think 99.99% we have healthy engine here. I feel very good about it. I'm going to go ahead and install this engine.